Hello guys, welcome to MotorBeam. This right here in front of me is the Mavrick 440 and we are here at the White Runoff Kutch to find out what is this motorcycle made of. Yes, it is a very similar motorcycle to the Harley X440, but there are quite a few things that are different and it is almost 30 to 40,000 cheaper than that motorcycle, and in comparison it is way better. It does look different, it does look very simple, and for the price I think it's value for money. But is it? Let's find out in today's video. But before we do that, subscribe to MotorBeam and don't forget to hit the bell icon. Yeah, now styling wise देखने में there are some bits that are good, there are some bits that are not so great, but then again this is a proper competition to the Bullet or the Speed 400 or any of those motorcycles, and compared to that this is a good looking motorcycle. The face is quite nice, you get the edge design, you get a projector setup, you get a low beam, everything over here is LED indicators, a plastic mudguard. Forks over here are about 37 mm telescopic forks, 240 mm disc, 110 section tire, MRF zapper, but this is an H rated tire. As you come a little bit behind, you can see that here it's metal, but you don't really get a bash plate as such. 13.5 liter ka fuel tank. Handlebar is nice and wide, like it's towards the rider but nice and wide. Single piece seat setup. Exhaust comes rotating below the engine. That is something that is little weird, I feel. Foot pegs up front set. अगर मैं थोड़ा और बताऊंगा. This is a comfortable place for the pillion too, but where you can see cost saving is over here. You don't get a monoshock as such. This is dual shocks का set on a box section swing arm, and here थोड़ा सा price cut लग रहा है. 150 section tire, 220 or 240 mm disc over here, and these alloys are diamond cut. So top model में diamond cut मिल जाएगा. That is also quite nice. And tail also gets an extended tail over here so that mug does not come onto you. LED indicators and LED tail light as well. This backrest set over here on the grab rail that you see is actually an accessory. This backrest you can add up later, does not come as standard, but it has been quite useful. Once you swing your leg, मतलब इस पे बैठोगे तो एक मज़ा ज़रूर आएगा क्योंकि you are sitting in a very comfortable posture. Anybody who has owned Hero, मतलब आपके पास अगर हीरो की मोटरसाइकिल है तो यहाँ पे सिमिलरिटीज़ बिल्कुल दिखेंगी, और सिमिलरिटीज़ मैं कह रहा हूँ यहाँ पे आपको स्प्लेंडर के साथ भी मिल सकती है, बिकॉज द स्ट्रक्चर स्प्लेंडर का थोड़ा हैंडल बार छोटा आता है. स्ट्रक्चर इज़ क्वाइट सिमिलर, एकदम सेम नहीं है, सिमिलर बोल रहा हूँ क्योंकि यू गेट फ्रंट सेट फुट पैग्स एंड people from the Hero brand will not find it different. मतलब आपको अलग नहीं लगेगी. 18.3 mm की seat height. Seat is decent enough, not too hard, not too soft, but spacious enough, and person my size can sit properly. 13.5 liter का fuel tank which I already mentioned. यहाँ पे थोड़ा सा crease मिल जाता है where I can kind of lock my leg, and ये posture काफ़ी अच्छा है, but there's a good amount of wind blast that also comes. Suspension travel on both the ends, front and rear, is 130 mm. And let me correct myself, 37 mm नहीं है, यहाँ पे 43 mm के forks मिलते हैं, telescopic forks. That said, you get a 175 mm का ground clearance, which is good enough to tackle any kind of bad roads, good roads, whatever you call it. Ergonomically, this motorcycle is quite sound, and ये जो backrest, which I said is an accessory, लगा दिया ना pillion के लिए और ज़्यादा comfortable हो जाएगा. This is quite nice for the price. I am actually quite liking it, yeah. Top model में I have to mention you get that eSIM facility, that is a connected feature which actually connects the meter to the OTA updates वगैरह जो भी है, आपको बाकी सब details मिल जाएगा. OTA updates as such नहीं मिलने वाला because this is a normal LCD screen. The screen is quite small, it's not too big, but it gives you decent amount of information. Before we do that, switch gear में यहाँ पे आपको मिल जाता है integrated start button. There's a hazard button too. You can see the hazard light is on. SOS button on the right which I already mentioned. यहाँ पे left side में there are no switches as such. There's a H logo here. Basically ये switch gear वही है X440 का which has been taken over here, और यहाँ पे वो buttons निकाल दिए गए हैं. However, you get a decent good feel for the indicators, horn button, pass light button, and this is how the horn sounds. Not too loud, not too shabby, not too thin also, it's decent. मतलब किसी को बता ना पा रहे हो, बता सकते हो. ऑन द क्लस्टर यू विल डेफिनेटली नोटिस के राइट साइड में यहाँ पे ना नेविगेशन वाला डेटा कुछ मिल नहीं रहा है. यहाँ पे नेविगेशन एक बार कनेक्ट होगा, अब तक हमारा कनेक्ट नहीं हुआ है. हीरो ऐप वंस यू गेट योरसेल्फ रजिस्टर्ड, आपको विन नंबर से रजिस्ट्रेशन होगा एंड देन यू विल बी एबल टू कनेक्ट. ऑन द राइट साइड इट फील्स एम्प्टी. ये सेम सिचुएशन सुजुकी की बाइक्स में भी दिखता था कि लेफ्ट साइड में नेविगेशन दिखता था, वो बंद है, मतलब नहीं है तो खाली दिखता है, एंड सेम सिचुएशन है. उसके नीचे यू गेट द क्लॉक. Right next to it is the fuel gauge. On the left side is a tachometer which is like a little bit weird because इतना छोटा सा tachometer है, you can't really understand what it is. On the center you get the speedometer, gear position indicator. Right below it is the trip meters, live mileage, distance to empty, and yes you get odometer as well. अब लाइव माइलेज का डिफरेंस ये है कि लाइव माइलेज दिख जाता है लेकिन एवरेज फ्यूल कंजम्पशन जो है वो एक पार्ट मिसिंग है, एंड इफ दैट वुड हैव बीन गिवन इट वुड हैव बीन कंप्लीट. नाउ राइडिंग दिस मोटरसाइकिल इज अ जेम, यहाँ पे चलाने को बहुत मज़ा आता है। नाउ आई हैव टू मेंशन यहाँ पे एडजस्टेबल लीवर्स वगैरह ये सब कुछ नहीं मिलता। दिस इज अ बेयर बेसिक सिंपल मोटरसाइकिल। इट डज नॉट इवन गेट ट्रैक्शन कंट्रोल, बट ड्यूअल चैनल एबीएस मिल जाता है, विच इज़ अ गुड थिंग। दैट्स इट। राइडिंग पोस्चर की तो बात कर दी हमने, एंड चलाने के लिए ये ब्लिस है। यहाँ पे बहुत ज़्यादा मज़ा आता है। यू सिट वेरी कंफर्टेबली गोइंग द डिस्टेंस। वी ऑलरेडी रन क्लोज टू 120 किलोमीटर ऑन दिस मोटरसाइकिल, एंड इट फील्स लाइक कि कुछ चलाया ही नहीं यार, और चलाने का मन कर रहा है। After we finish this, I'm gonna ride for another 300 more kilometers because I want to explore Gujarat. I might put in some pictures here and there जहाँ पे मैंने I passed the Tropic of Cancer, like run पे आ गए हैं, and we'll do a little more things. And what I can say is that this is a motorcycle that can do your city duties and your weekend rides too. यहाँ पे आपको comfortable bike चाहिए, instead of getting the Royal Enfield Bullet or the Classic 350, this is the one that you can opt for. And I can say this right away that this is a nice motorcycle. A Maverick over here, the build quality feels nice, the ride feels nice, टायर से भी बहुत अच्छा grip मिल जाता है, the braking feedback is good, it's not too sharp, not too shabby. थोड़ा सा फील है, हल्का सा वुडन फील होता है स्टार्टिंग में, बट वंस यू होल्ड इट टाइट, इट ब्रेक्स नाइसली यार. The suspension setup, I know 130 mm travel is a little bit less, but then again comfortable है ये मोटरसाइकिल. टू अप में भी बहुत प्रॉब्लम नहीं होगा. रियर से थोड़ा सा बाउंस बैक इफेक्ट आता है, तो वो एक इफ़ यू कैन मैनेज लिटिल बिट, आफ्टर दैट दिस मोटरसाइकिल इज़ अ जेम टू राइड. Overall, यहाँ पे you are saving the money over here at the suspension and the swing arm bit, but you are getting a better engine, and that is something I would really appreciate. The engine actually feels really nice. The 440cc motor, I know it's an oil cooled motor, यहाँ पे साइड में oil cooler आ जाता है, producing only 27 bhp of power and 36 Nm of torque, लेकिन इसका torque है ना 2000 rpm से ही मिल जाता है. So if you are in the highest gear at a lower rpm, कुछ प्रॉब्लम नहीं होगा. प्लस 6 स्पीड का गियर बॉक्स मिल जाता है, तो हाईवे क्रूजिंग इज समथिंग दैट इज रियली नाइस. दिस इंजन डज वाइब्रेट राइट फ्रॉम 4.5-5,000 rpm. वंस यू गन इट, बहुत ज़्यादा वाइब्रेशन आता है. इट्स अ सिंगल सिलेंडर मोटर, प्लस this motor does not want to be revved as much. So if you are not pushing the motorcycle, यहाँ पे आपको problems नहीं होगा, but if you start pushing it, you'll be like it vibrates a little bit too much. This is not the Hero way to go, but then this one vibrates at higher RPMs. Middle range, low end, very nice. यहाँ पे कुछ चीज़ें जो मेरे को पसंद नहीं आई है, one of them being the mirrors, because ये round shape में है and it is quite a lot weird because you can't really see what's behind. क्योंकि मेरा हाथ आ गया तो I can just see my hand, and when you try to adjust it, the concave convex feel जो है, मतलब the mirror feel from the edges, it is having a fisheye effect, and that is something that I'm not liking as much. Rear view में क्या आ रहा है, कौन आ रहा है, वो समझ में नहीं आता. That said, the seat over here, if you're not sitting right, if you're wearing a thinner pant, थोड़ा सा चिमटा भी काटता है, मतलब if you try to move it a little. So that is something that I don't like. And the vibrations, which I already mentioned. The headlight throw is something that is very pointy, it's not widespread. So then when you are looking somewhere, मतलब रात को हम लोग चला रहे थे तब, I could notice that it is at a beam, but on the side you can't really see it properly. So the headlight throw is not wide, but it's nice. This motorcycle does sound quite good, that is for sure. Let me make you hear the exhaust note. आपने बहुत जगह exhaust note सुना ही रहेगा, तो थोड़ा वाइब्रेशन वाला भी नॉइज आया, वो है हल्का वाइब्रेशन है एज यू गो हायर ऑन द आरपीएम, बट दैट्स अबाउट इट. दिस इज अ गुड साउंडिंग मोटरसाइकिल, वेरी डिफरेंट फ्रॉम द हार्ली X440, एंड फॉर द प्राइस आई एम टेलिंग यू गाइस, इफ यू वांट अ रिलायबल मोटरसाइकिल फ्रॉम अ रिलायबल कंपनी, you should consider this, because Hero Mavrick 440 for the price is definitely worth it. There are some shortcomings. It is not the best looking motorcycle. अभी Extreme आ गई, उसका डिज़ाइन 125 का, और इसमें ज़मीन आसमान का फ़र्क है. I understand that, but then this motorcycle does what it's made to do. Money has gone to the engine, and that is where the fun lies. The throttle response, the overall riding feedback. यहाँ पे it's like the Interceptor wala case, where for the price you're getting a 650, and for the price over here you're getting a 440, and that is something mad. You know what, I'll do one more comparison. I'll compare this with the Speed 400, the Classic 350, and I'll tell you which one should you buy and why. But before I do that, this is the Maverick for you, and thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.